America's been drinking beer from a company that doesn't even know which restroom to use. That's why I created Conservative Dad's ultra-right, 100% woke-free beer. As conservatives, we're constantly getting hit in the face, left and right, by the woke mind virus. But the last place we want it is in our beer. If you know which bathroom to use, you know what beer you should be drinking. Stop giving money to woke corporations that hate our values. And to the rest of you woke corporations, stay the from our kids.
I like how he censored himself there, the very end. Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch here with you. That was a commercial for a beer. They don't, just to tell everybody, they don't advertise on the show or anything. We just hate the fact that an iconic drink that I think is just as American as apple pie and baseball, it's like that it's being destroyed by this Marxist cultural garbage that we see that's affecting everything from football to NASCAR to all this. And can I just say, and I don't care, I can say it because I'm a chick. Guys can't say this. I would rather drink beer that's been brewed by a dad than some chick that does this like 60-second long commercial talking about women that brew beer. I mean, sandwiches is one thing, beer is another. Oh, joining us right now, though, is the brains behind all of this. This is, it's a great beer. It is a really great beer. Seth Weathers is, he's been involved in all kinds of politics, national and state level. The website is Ultra Right Beer, and that's actually what it's called. I almost turned this sideways so people could see the can, but it's open. That would have been a disaster. Ultra Right Beer, and I did read the ingredients, and it's, I hear that it's actually brewed by eagles on the top of Mount Rushmore, Seth. Is that true?
There's some truth to that for sure.
So.
But we're excited about it. Your patriotism does increase per beer.
We don't have like a patriotism alcohol content reader. We should probably get one. Now, I have a can here. I've not had it yet. I've had one, like I got it, and then it's been a crazy weekend, so I'm like, oh my gosh, throw it in the fridge, and I'm just gonna wait till you're on air. So I hope it's not bad, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious.
This will be the test.
It's for educational purposes. I feel like I got to say that. Oh, kids, I almost don't want anyone else to get it so I'm going to tell everybody it's horrible so they don't order it, and I can have it's actually really good. This is a really good beer. Ultra Right Beer. There's my lipstick stain on it. So wait a minute. You got mad because of the Bud Light stuff, and you just came out with your own beer.
I don't know that I was well, yeah, I was probably mad.
Again, for education.
I was going to say I didn't get mad. I probably got mad. I got pissed off, I guess would be a way of wording it, when we saw what was going on. And look, as you know, we're seeing this everywhere in 50 different categories of products and stuff, and we can't boycott everything. But I saw this and I said, God, I wish I knew how to make beer. And fun fact, I still don't know how to make beer. However, I've hired people that know how to make beer. It takes many years to develop the knowledge of making beer. Right. So I'm not going to claim to be a brewmaster, but we have an incredible brewmaster.
That's awesome. It tastes great. This is a great beer.
Thank you. It really is a solid beer. A lot of people think because of the Bud Light, we came out of the Bud Light controversy. I think a lot of people think we were trying to copy Bud Light. We're not. This is not beer flavored water. That's what Bud Light is. That's the best thing I can say in your air about their beer.
So I would wash my Ultra Right glasses with Bud Light, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Okay, and then fill them with Ultra Right.
There you go. That makes sense. 100% woke-free American beer. So you started this really this was in the works before the Bud Light stuff. Oh, no.
This is the most incredible. Like the fact that we have a federal license, got state license in multiple states, all the things that's come together, and the time that it's come together is almost unbelievable for people in the industry if you ask them if it was possible. So this came about. We put out that video on social media. On my Twitter alone, I think it's somewhere around 46 million views. I think we're around 100 million total views on that ad online everywhere just from being viral. Thank you, Elon Musk. The reality is this actually would not exist without Elon Musk because it would have never been allowed to have the kind of traction it had on social media, on Twitter specifically, that it did had he not taken over previously.
Yeah, you say that on the website. Conservatives will no longer complain about big corporations. We're going to dump them. I love that you just created a solution. You just got mad and you're like, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to create something.
Yes, because the thing is, like, conservatives, we moan and yell about this stuff that happens and companies come out, they dump all over us. Maybe we skip a couple football games, but then we're right back in the stands. And look, I also kind of understand that. Like, I've got kids that want to go to sports events and all these kinds of things too. We can't boycott everything. If we did, we'd have to turn off the television, everything we're watching right now, because all these parts to video, all this is made in communist China. So I understand that. However, we can pick one. I've said for over a decade now, and I just kind of saw this is the moment. Said for over a decade, we have to pick one corporation that takes an egregious dump on conservatives, and we have to single them out and cause permanent economic harm. And that's what's actually happening with Bud Light, with what's going on here. Their brand is decimated. You're not coming. Bud Light is going to forever. It will never reach the levels of what it was. And I actually think it will continue a slow decline down. Right now, you got a lot of corporations, from airlines, et cetera, keeping them afloat. But I think over time, there's going to be less renewals there, and they're going to go in, they're going to essentially disappear.
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch obviously will survive that, but Bud Light is a brand within itself, almost like a company within itself. And I think seeing conservatives finally stick to this is incredible, and to be part of that, we're extremely excited. And we've just crashed the surface right now. There's so much stuff coming down the next few weeks that we're excited about with this, that I think is going to excite a lot of people as well. So
That's
we're
awesome.
excited.
We're talking with Seth Weathers. He's the CEO of Freedom Speaks Up, and also Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer. I love that it's also Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer, because I feel like that's something you can trust. So I'm from St. Louis. Like, I lived legit 3 blocks away from Anheuser-Busch. I would drive by the Clydesdales almost like every day. If I went south, if I had to go to the supermarket or something, I would drive by the Clydesdales almost every day. You could smell the barley and hops in the air at night when it was brewing. And so that was like, to see them do that. Kane and I, as St. Louisans, we're in Dallas now. That hurt my psyche. That hurt my soul. And I was so mad. My family was livid over this. But this is like something my stepdad would make. This is great.
It's an iconic American brand, and they've just decimated it. I've talked to so many people in the industry now, and people are talking that I was talking to a guy that's been in the beer industry for 37 years the other day. And he told me, Seth, I've never seen anything like this. Just the level of destruction to a brand nearly overnight. It's just, there's nothing like it. I mean, they'll do case studies on how they destroyed a brand.
Let me ask you about that too, because I really do think, it started with conservatives that were really speaking. I think conservatives and some classical liberals and people who they want to be left alone. They want their kids to be left alone. But this really it even grew past that. You can't see a company that is so destroyed, it destroys one of its big products and reputations the way they did, without half of America doing it.
Agreed. And what's wild about it is, so they came out with their initial statement saying that what's her name, the VP of marketing, is on leave. And some conservatives want to quickly say, "Oh, victory lap, we won." It was not a victory. You read further into their statement, they're continuing to dump. Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch is continuing to dump on conservatives. You read further into that statement, and it talks about her personal safety and their concern for it, implying, oh, we put her in hiding because conservatives are so dangerous because of this backlash. She needs to be, her safety's of concern here. So they're continuing to dump us. And I know personally, Anheuser is not going to do anything to walk this back. They will not walk it back. Them trying to say, well, it wasn't a full TV ad. It wasn't. No one cares. Do you disavow it or not? They will not. I don't care what anyone thinks. They will never disavow it. And putting someone on a highly paid leave for a little while for their safety from conservatives is not a victory. So these guys, again, permanent economic harm. They need to crash and burn from this. They need to be a burning example for corporations everywhere to leave people alone.
Yeah, completely agree. We're talking to Seth Weathers, who is behind Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer, 100% woke-free American beer. I love the can too. Please don't ever change the can, because if I see this if I see this on store shelves, I'm like, oh, I got to reach for this one. This is the one I'm going to reach for. That was a great idea.
Thank you. It is a great can. You will see it on store shelves, depending on your state, very soon as well. So we're really excited about that.
So now,
also.
do you have others like the koozies? And so just let me get, this is what I grew up with. I grew up with my stepdad, who would listen to Jack Buck, Call the Cards every summer. He would go outside grilling pork steaks is like a thing in St. Louis. He would go out on the deck. He'd put his hat on. He'd have his beers. He'd have all his barbecue implements. And he would go out there and he would grill all afternoon, listen to the game, drink his beer. But he likes to have all the accessories. So do we have all that too?
We have it coming. So the koozies we don't. I think we probably should have sent you some glasses, hats, probably shirts too. But the koozies are
Oh,
coming.
I'll buy
I think
it.
about a
I want to
week
buy
or two.
them because I'm going to
No,
like
I'm
send
not
it to
gonna-
his Father's Day.
Well, I'll get you some. Don't worry.
Oh, let me buy it. I want to support the company, and I can also like be like, I got you this for Father's Day.
Well, you're drinking one of the first. That is
For
from our
educational.
sample run. They're exactly educational. That's from our first run. There are very few of those original batch. Our first
So
huge
this is like a
canning.
collector's item. I'm drinking
Yeah, you're
it.
drinking a collector's item.
Jiminy Christmas.
But we
Goodness.
are our first major canning begins this week, so we're canning a ton of beer that's getting shipped out to people that have ordered all across the country. You probably know it was a 30-day pre-order. That got extended to 60 days because our first brewer canceled us. I would like to discuss them.
Whoa,
I can't
Your
say it in
first
good word.
brewer canceled you.
They did.
What?
That was unfortunate. They, they lied. The press came to them and they disowned me 3 times before the rooster crowed. I felt very harmed by this. People are gonna make bad jokes out of that. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's so wow.
It was sacrilegious. However, so they came out. The Newsweek is one of the worst, by the way. Those people, if they could be sued for false headlines, I've got like 5 lawsuits against them. But nonetheless, Newsweek, everyone started contacting them. Are you going to make this bigoted beer or whatever they called it to them? And they were, oh God, no, we're so afraid. No, we didn't know about the ad or anything. I've got emails from them, but again, I can't say the words I'd like to describe these
We feel
men
it. We
to
feel
involved, but I think you could guess. You could probably guess.
Yeah, I can guess them. Some
and that's the
choice
problem.
dad words. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Men like that are why we, quote unquote, men like that are why we have the problem we have in America, which is part of why we're doing what we're doing. And I'm sick of men being that word I won't use on your show because I respect your show.
Oh, thank you.
However, there's a lot of men in America that currently are in that unfortunate situation. And I think testosterone would help for sure, but there's a lot of other things. And again, we're trying to encourage people through this is a movement. This is a movement that's a catalyst is beer, and I want it to be the best beer in the world. But we also have a movement, and I think people have joined on. They see what we're trying to do. And we've got, one thing we're going to be doing in the future is we're going to be putting on all the cans in the future, well, not all, many cans in the future are going to have where you can scan a QR code and find out where to register to vote. Because there are a ton of conservatives, even in rural areas, even shockingly high numbers in rural areas that are conservative that don't vote. They're literally not registered. And anyone that's drinking Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer, I am confident if they register to vote, I'll be happy with how they vote. And so that's something that we're coming out with later in the year with our future cans. And I think and we're working with Scott Pressler on that.
I think you just became my best friend saying that. That's one of the smartest things I've ever heard. And I wish all these other people, I wish that Republicans were doing this more and really merging out the signing up, registering people to vote.
We will do more. The Republican Party conventions this past weekend, everyone gets together and is angry at each other over this, that, and the other. And I turned to someone and I said, we're going to register more votes and cause more outcome by just being out in the community, pushing this as the catalyst to get people registered. And we've got like 10 other things like that along the way that we're going to do that we're really excited about. And again, so this will be a lot of people drink beer, way more than the amount of people that actually vote. And again, if we can get those people motivated and excited when they're looking at the can, they scan it. We go to Scott Pressler's organization. He has a new organization that's really exciting to help people register to vote. They handle it from there. We're getting more conservatives to vote because conservatives talk a lot,
right?
But a lot of them don't vote. They never vote in primaries.
Yeah, they don't. The turnout is what gets us every single time. It's the turnout.
Absolutely.
This is a great beer. It's Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer. Is delicious. Y'all can visit ultrarightbeer.com. Shipping starts this week. And if you love America, you're going to start stocking your fridge with it. You're going to start putting it in your coolers because everyone thinks that, I guess InBev only does Bud Light. I'm like, oh, y'all, you don't realize everything that they make.
Everything.
It's a ton of stuff.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe, by the way, that we didn't pay you for that last line. I want to make that statement, but that was great.
Oh, yeah, I'm
online.
so happy that you're doing this. Seth Weathers, ultrarightbeer.com. If you love America, you're going to order this beer. And if you're a communist, you're not. So there you go. It's just that simple. This is great. Shipping starts this week. Seth, keep us updated about all the stuff that you got coming out, and we'll talk more.
Will do. Thanks,
awesome.
Dana.
Congratulations. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Good to see you.